Robert J. Conley here live on YouTube and on Instagram. And I'm working on the solutions for the lighting. Bear with me. Appreciate you watching. All right. So last video, I spoke about the letter, Welcome to Holland, which the essence of the letter was a woman with special needs, child, adapting to the reality that she had a special needs child, and not just adapting, but embracing the beauty of what that was. And it brought up an inquiry from a client that said, it's a positive mental attitude thing. I don't know. Is it really necessary? At times it seems unrealistic. And so there are some distinctions to be made. And I'm not even sure it's the right question. I think, I think a positive mental attitude. I'll give you an example of a contrast. Okay, so you can make the statement, "This is hard," and you can make that statement with your shoulders slumped, with your, with a feeling of being beaten down, and this is hard, and it can feel a defeat. You can also say, "Wow, this is hard." And you can stand up tall with your shoulders back and say, "Yeah, this is hard, but I can do it," or "I will persevere. I will keep going." And that is a manifestation. Even though the words are the same, you can manifest a positive mental attitude from the same circumstances that arise. And so there are a couple of attitudes to take that make it easier to do that. And the first one I'll talk about is that there is no game without opposition. Opposition and disappointment, things not going right, those are a part of life. And a critical distinction, because people get upset when they say, you go, "Well, it's the game of life. Life is a game." It's like, it's not a game. Don't make light of it. Don't make fun of it. Life is a series of games. Everything is a game, because games come about purely because we state that something is more important than something else. So, in baseball, hitting this little round ball outside the park or to where somebody can't catch it, that's a stated thing. Carrying a funky looking ball across a certain line gets you 6 points. Excuse me. And in every, Jeff Bezos started a massive game, and it's not a pejorative. He just stated that, mail order has become non-functional, and I can fix it. And we don't even use the term mail order for it anymore, but it's the same animal that was called mail order. It's the same deal. And so attitude number one is that there's always opposition, and there are always things that go wrong. And the positive mental attitude is to say, I can adapt to anything. And sometimes it's a matter of time too. It's not like, I can instantly adapt to this. And there are plenty of circumstances in our lives where people have to adapt instantly like in the case of horrific tornadoes or, natural disasters, many, many types of things. But it's like, I can adapt to anything, and it may take you longer than you want. But if you will maintain this attitude that I can adapt, I can adapt, I can adapt, you will, and you can adapt. All right. So, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I joined a multi-level marketing group, and the guy who led the group was just adamant about, hey, we got to keep things positive. Everything's got to be positive. It was like sunshine and lollipops all the time. To the point of like, we don't allow negative thinking. To the point of just shutting down conversation and being overly sensitive. And I think I've met more than one type like him, but the thing that was hard for him was he expected to win 100% of the time. He didn't bow to the reality of the law of averages. And, the old saying, you hit 300, you're in the Hall of Fame. And so in any endeavor in life, the reality is that you win some, you lose some, and that you can, it's about maintaining. It's about maintaining any attitude that will get you to suit up the next day, that will get you to go back in the game. One of the greatest examples of a positive mental attitude, of the law of accepting the law of averages, of saying there's always another day, is Pete Carroll. Guy's won on the college level, he won national championships, and in the NFL, he's won the Super Bowl. And he is he's a true rah, enthusiastically cheerful coach. And he maintains his team's attitude with that very upbeat, there's always another day. Number 3, this might sound like a negative, but if you can accept it as a reality, and it's kind of under the auspices of hard, but the whole reality of life is that you need to sacrifice up front to gain for later on. And so one of the things to ask yourself is, what am I not giving up, or what am I not letting go of? What am I not getting rid of that's keeping me from moving forward? I did it myself when I was in commercial real estate as a young broker. Typical kind of newbie guy, made a big deal, went out and got a new car, and I had no business getting this car because the maintenance, it was a very high end car, and the maintenance on it was killer. And I see this over and over again, where taking on too much overhead, not sacrificing in the immediate upfront, with the belief and with a positive mental attitude that things will pay off, is a critical step. And then number 4 is that you're only as broken as you choose to be. You're only as broken as you choose to be. And one of my favorite quotes is from Richard Bach, and he wrote this book back in the 70s or 80s, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And if you can get a hold of it, get a hold of it. It takes about half an hour to read it, but it's a really, really cool book. So anyway, this wasn't I don't think this was in Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but it's a Richard Bach quote. He says, "What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly." What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. Refuse to participate in being broken. Refuse it. So do you need a positive mental attitude? Well, here's one more little twist. So I wish I could remember who said this. I kind of sort of think I do, but not to a high enough degree. So I'm just going to say this was from somebody else. I don't remember for sure who it was that said it, but he said, I have a positive mental attitude while acknowledging the possibility of a negative outcome. And I'm going to make sure I'm not the reason for the negative outcome. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So, the whole question of positive mental attitude is really about what gets you enthusiastically or calmly or methodically moving forward every day in the games that you are playing, the work game, the family game, the spiritual game, the health game, all of those games. And so I submit that as important as a positive mental attitude is, that another layer that adds even more energy is just a can-do attitude. I can adapt, I can learn, I can keep going. I'm not going to be as broken as the world seems to want me right now. And I'm a caterpillar who will be a butterfly. Hold on to that on your tough days. Keep that picture in your head. I'm Robert J. Conley. I hope this helped. I will see you next time.